Angelooney, your art Sherpa, and today I'm coming to you live to show you how to paint Mermaid's Cove. I did a watercolor a while back and it became a really requested painting on Instagram and on YouTube to teach it in some way in acrylic, so I decided to. I got with my friend Angela Anderson. If you're familiar, we do something called Angelooney, which is like a super collab. And right now, if you look at the links below or in the iCard, you're going to find that there's another totally different awesome mermaid that you can also paint with her. So you could literally have your own personal gossip of mermaids. That's what it's called.
That's right.
On the mic today is my husband, John.
Hi, guys.
John is with me when, the gossip of mermaid thing came up. I think Lisa found that.
Yep.
Flame Gremlin found that.
We have a gossip with us today. I'll tell you that.
Gossip.
We have a Sherpa of Sherpas.
Actually, today I want to say hi to all my mermaids and mermen.
Oh.
That's the thing now, mermen.
Oh, but we have a palette of Sherpettes with us.
And a palette of Sherpettes.
No, there's like over 300 of them here already.
You guys
it's
are
just
brilliant.
Hi, guys. Nice to see you.
So, oh gosh, I'm so excited to have you here. If you have a friend you know needs to be painting, don't forget to share this awesome free art content with them. We do have picture-in-picture today. Yes, she has a traceable. We're on 11 by 14. Dun, 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 dun. This is what we're painting.
Is it?
We're on an 11 by 14 canvas board. And I really like canvas boards because they're inexpensive, easy to store, and easy to paint on. We have wishes on the canvas board today, John.
We do?
We do. If you're brand new here and you don't know, we like to put wishes on our paintings before we start painting.
Yes.
Just put a little positivity into the universe. And a couple of our wishes that we already have is Deb has got a wish for her sister-in-law for some speedy healing. And the next wish I actually have is for Jolene Sugarbaker, fellow YouTuber, really fantastic. And we're sending her some positive vibes for healing and well-being and Facebooking. Sending some thoughts. Do we have any wishes coming in the community?
We're going to send a wish to Cindy. Her mom passed away yesterday, and we're going to send some art love to her.
Love and support to Cindy while she goes through this hard time.
And a happy birthday to Sierra and all of the Sherpettes and Lightkeepers out there who are celebrating birthdays.
Do you know who else's birthday we have to shout out?
Who's that?
Kim Sim.
Oh,
Because we were supposed to be live yesterday, and now we're live today.
Yeah.
So we missed Kim Sim's birthday. So belatedly, happy birthday, Kim.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, Twix, honorary studio assistant Twix, is having some feels about not being on the blankie.
Oh, I may let her back in here.
I think you need to. She has some blanket feels. I'd also like to just send some genuine, grab my hat, kind of 2017 well-wishing around the world to just all of us, that we're all in just our best, safest, happiest spaces, just for all of planet Earth. You know, not that I don't love the rest of the galaxy. You know, the galaxy's awesome. But just for my fellow humans living on Third Rock from the Sun.
Humans.
And I'm so excited to be painting this mermaid today. Hello, Twix. She's down there sniffing my foot. So I'm going to be sketching in today and using a variety of different tools. The one you're seeing me use here, this is actually a pastel and burnt sienna. And I'm going to be painting over this with a mix of phthalo blue and burnt sienna, so it's going to disappear. You're going to also see that I have white chalk pencils. And then I've got some graphite. I will today show you how to draw in the mermaid real fast, but of course.
Oh, yeah, I got that her.
She's got a nice traceable so that you can
I think we've got
totally work that out for yourself if drawing is not your thing. And don't ever let drawing be the thing that stops you from your creative path. Drawing is just an art skill. You can learn it along the way. You don't have to know it today to start enjoying your art journey. Remember, it's your art journey. I'm just your guide. So let me guide you through some of the colors and talk about what my thinking was there on this crazy, aquatic, fantastical palette. Does that sound good, John?
Oh, yeah. And could you do me one more favor? One more little wish out there. There's a bunch of people who had unexpected heat loss. Because it's such a weird winter chill that hit us.
Oh, yes. So if
some...
you actually, you know what? My mom is one of those people. She's just on a cruise. So she would be cold, but she's just not home. All right.
So for there's a bunch of Texans out there that are going,
so to everyone
heat.
Anywhere who for whatever reason doesn't have their heat, please stay warm. Find a warm, safe place to be, under blankets, with friends, with family, and I hope your heat is back.
Absolutely, yeah.
Your toes and nose are warm. I wish that deeply for all of you. Oh, that's really good. I was like, it's my mom too, man. But again, she's on a cruise.
So you got some paint?
I am. I'll show you some paint.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so here is the full color palette, which is a little bigger than what I usually do, but I'll let you know there's some...
They're all upside down.
Are they?
Look. Yeah, see? There you go. Yay!
Okay.
All right.
All right. So here we have phthalo blue and phthalo green shade. And yeah, you really do need both of these. And cad yellow medium, you do need that. I've got quinacridone magenta, but just so you guys know, another magenta you could get and still have this work very well is magenta primary. A lot of paint lines have it if they don't have quinacridone. I've got cadmium red light and I've got cadmium orange. The cadmium orange is really optional if you have the cad red light, but if you have cad red medium, you might want to go ahead and get it. I've got burnt umber, burnt sienna, and yellow ochre, and that's just because I'm doing a variety of rock techniques and, you know, on her tail techniques, and I really need the burnt sienna for the water, so I would say the burnt umber is an option. If you just don't have it, don't let that stop you from doing the painting. Just whenever you see me using burnt umber, just switch it to burnt sienna. Yellow ochre, definitely use some yellow ochre, and I have my titanium white in my giant tube because that's what I like. I also like to use something called acrylic glazing liquid. I get asked if there's a lot of other products like this, and what I'll say is there are other products that do part of what this does, but just in my personal opinion, and this is just my personal, I'm gonna back up, actually I'm up here, I'm like so fuzzy. In my personal opinion, right, is just that it's my favorite product, and what it does is it allows you to glaze and slows down the drying time of your paint, and I've just never had it get gummy or underperform for me, and I just really like it. And for the size of it, it's actually pretty economical. So that's why I like it. All right, let's put out the colors. We're going to start with...
Now, while you're putting those out, can I ask you a question about...
You can ask me questions about anything.
So,
even unart-related things, I just may not have an answer.
So there's a question here in chat that says, what temperature is too cold for painting? It's 55 degrees in my house.
You're still okay. At 55 degrees, you are still okay. But you can actually be affected by the temperature in your art studio. That's a real thing that will get to you. And what I'll say is that acrylic paint is affected by extreme heat and extreme cold. So more stuff you would find in, say, the back of your car than likely your home. If it's... I'll have to check this with Chris.
Yeah.
But what I feel is that if it's comfortable enough for you, it's comfortable enough for your paint.
Yeah.
Would be my thing.
Your paint should be like a tropical fish. But
I'm going to measure something here. I'm just going to make sure.
In truth, they're really tough. I mean, like most of the modern paints, like they're like really like they can withstand multiple freezings and colds. But you know, you shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't. And remember, sometimes you get paint, it's already been damaged when you get it because you can't control the storage conditions of the places where you buy it from. You can only control your conditions. And so just to let you know, I'm making a straight line across my canvas 4 inches from the bottom. This is an 11 by 14, so it's 4 inches from the bottom. It's a pretty easy thing to do. You could freehand it in, and if you don't have a ruler, my kind of economical tip is to use the edge of a paper towel because, believe it or not, those are always really square.
Oh, yeah.
And I've had to use them in the past to get benefit. So I'm going to put out a little of my quinacridone magenta, which John used to call Passamaquoddy pink.
Yes.
Caffeinated today. So much caffeine in my system. So much caffeine in my life. I really love my cadmium yellow. You can use hue. That's another good place to save a ton of money.
Yeah.
When you want to save money. Though I do like my real cadmium. I'm going to put out my phthalo blue. On my tube, you're going to notice that it says green shade. This is only important in professional lines of paint. In student lines of paint, it'll just say phthalo blue, and that is the correct shade.
Okay.
Comes that way. Unless it starts specifying to you, you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to put a little of this titanium white. I think I'm getting to the place where I'm going to need to go on a little journey back for white paint.
We need more paint.
I'm going to need some more paint. I'm going to put out my glazing liquid. Ooh, I love my glazing liquid, and I just pour it out, and I'm going to pick my brush. Always one of my favorite things to do today, and I think I'm going to pick this out right here. This is a number 10 Bright. This is a synthetic filament, which I'm super fond of. I like synthetic filaments that are shorter and firmer. Brights tend to be shorter and firmer, and it gives me a little more spring to my brush, you know, and I want to make sure that when I'm painting, just bending it a little bit. I don't want to be pressing it into the canvas. Just something to think about. Now I am going to be kind of cheeky and with this graphite pencil so you can see it. I'm going to sketch in where I think my sun's going to be, and that's going to help me plan my circles.
I'm going to add some some picture-in-picture, I think.
I think it's time for picture-in-picture magic. Picture pages, time for the picture pages. Da, 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 da. Don't worry, it's not a singing show. And it shouldn't be. It should not be a singing show. But if you have a song in your heart, you should definitely sing. All right, so I know where my circle is. All of my brush strokes that I'm going to do here, all of them are going to be curved like this. Can you see I'm curving?
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm going, and I'm interestingly going to take my pink so that it's solid below this line. And then when I come back, I'll put in my water. This is a trick when you're doing all oceans, is making sure you pull your sky below your water line.
Now, so I had another good question here.
Yes.
Would a humidifier help to keep paint not dry as fast in the studio?
Yes, actually, I've heard that from paint professionals before.
Oh, neat. Yeah, good.
And so, yes, we're in Houston, so that's inconceivable.
Yes, there's
to do here for any reason. You're noticing what I'm trying to demo here is priming your brush, which is getting a little water on it and taking the extra off.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that, John knows, because these synthetic brushes don't hold so much that it's very wet.
Now, I just want to tell you, right before you grab that paint, I just want you to turn around and look at the camera. I want you to take a moment and celebrate with me because we are double Sherpa.
Double Sherpa?
We are double Sherpa right now.
I think it's dance time. Sorry, guys. I gotta.
But it's in all seriousness, while we just happen to be between pieces of music, I want to say thank you guys because, man, it's so nice to have everybody out here with us today. To have a palette of Sherpettes here with us
for a gossip of mermaids, and I want to see a gossip on social media. Give me a gossip on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and TheArtSherpa.com. And if you haven't had enough mermaid, remember we have a brand new mermaid mug from both of these paintings. 2 mermaids, 1 cup. All the grown-ups just had a moment.
Lisa will love you for that. All right.
That's what it's officially called.
It is.
You can tell us how you feel about that.
I will. There you go.
So I love that last little bubble that was like floating down. Oh wait, there's like, I don't know if you can see, there's little tiny rebellions that are out there. So what I'm doing is I'm getting this just on the tip of my brush, so I don't have a lot of pigment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a lot of paint because there's a lot of color in my quinacridone. And I'm going to pull my white into this, and you see I'm getting a very light pink. I use this a lot in skies.
Yeah.
Now, to improve my flow, I'm going to definitely add my glazing liquid. And there's a secret free additive you could use if you didn't have flow.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What is that?
You know what it is. It's water.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to make a smile on my canvas.
Now, I'm going to ask you while you're
making that. I'm going to make
a
smile.
While you're making that smile there?
It's going to help me with my lines. One of the things that happens when you're really new to painting, it can be hard to anchor your brush directionality.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't think it would be a hard thing, but it is a hard thing. So to make sure that I'm getting a really good start to my curved, rounded sky,
yep,
I just anchor it with a smile.
Now,
nothing like a smile in your life.
Stacy was having some trouble. She can't find the same kind of pencils that you have for sketching in. So did you have some suggestions on what she can look for?
Yeah, you're looking in the drafting section, right, sweetheart, of any of your art or craft stores. It's where they have the drafting.
Now,
and you want just something like, and honestly, you know, people forget to think about this. Kids chalk goes in a sharpener.
Okay.
Right?
So just kids chalk and or
that was a community member of Flame Gremlin's tip. Kids chalk goes in a sharpener.
Okay, yeah.
And then you get a nice sharp edge. So if you really can't find a tool, you can even take those little colored kids chalks and they work just as good as the fine art materials. But we do have the list to where to get the pencils online and the watercolors and all of that.
Okay, cool.
Because we're helpful like that. We're helpful. We like to be helpful. So I'm just loading up my brush. Now the trick, I get a lot of people who are like, how do you blend your skies?
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens to them is that they try to transition to the next color and they find themselves unable to do so. And what's happening is their paint has dried, and acrylic paint doesn't blend once it's dried. So you've got to blend wet into wet to get any effective result. I'm going to take a little of my quinacridone over to my blue, kind of purple it up a bit, pull it into my white, make sure I've got my glazing medium, and start taking advantage of that wet into wet seam. So what I get...
Twix is chewing on that on the camera again.
Oh, no. What you doing? I don't get what you're doing. You're not helping, Mama. You're so cute, but you're not helping. You're so... Okay, that's not helpful to painting. I'm sorry to those of you that are at home. We have a new puppy.
She's chewing on my camera's hand.
She's very helpful. She likes to be with us when we work. I'm pulling this line down into the pink, right? And because this is still wet, thanks to my glazing medium and the speed of my work, right? That's how I get a nice blend. And don't be frustrated with yourself if it takes a few paintings to learn this process. You know what I mean? The thing is not to go your first painting and do the greatest painting in the world. That's not your goal. Your goal is to have fun and paint and remember that art is fun. That's your only goal. You know, you have to remember that you're born. I'm going to rinse out my paint. I like to press it into the bottom of the cup. All right, and I'm going to get this pink out because I'm going to be going into my yellow, which is going to make it green. And even though quinacridone is very forgiving of blends, I want to pull as much of it out of it as I can. So this what I'm doing is I'm just pulling that out. And of course I'm towelless again, so I'm going to grab one of my paint towels, which is a unfortunate little rag. It's been through some stuff. I'm going to wipe off my brush. And I'm going to make a little aqua.
How do you make aqua?
I'm going to take a little, this is Southern Ocean Blue.
As I ask, actually, I don't know.
Southern Ocean Blue. I'm going to take a little of my Cad Yellow over to my Phthalo Blue. This wouldn't work with ultramarine. You'd get a very, very kind of deep forest army color.
Oh.
And I'm going to add a little white so that's quite light. If you need more yellow, you can go get it. You decide what color. You decide. I don't know why I went epic rap battles, but I did. And I'm going to blend these seams. See how they're blending? Ooh, keeping that curve, keeping that smile. That's the trick to this sort of tunneled sky.
I got distracted. I was watching. Angela's watching us on full screen now.
Angel is?
Angel.
Angel. Hi, Angel. You're watching us full screen.
She is. She's kicking us on the big screen and then watching.
I'm always touched and also horrified at the same time when people watch me on the big screen. Because I know how big my TV is, and I'm like, I only get by because my monitors here are small, so the reality is not really that big for me.
HD and zoom.
Oh, it's too much. We did that a little bit, and I was like, no, Mama's done. Yeah, I'm all done. So you can see I'm curving it around. As I'm going to be approaching the sun, I'm going to be curving these brush strokes tighter and tighter around the sun. And this is really all it takes to get this beautiful sky. And it might take a couple practices. Never be stressed with yourself or upset about that, because that's just what you do.
Just what you do?
It's what you do.
I see.
Like you do.
Yeah.
I just think anything that starts out with like you do has to work out fairly well.
Well, that generally does.
Like you do. Like you do. I'm very excited to paint a mermaid today. I want to say thank you for your well wishes. Many of you instantly called it on the cause for John was a sandwich.
Well, it provoked it. Oh, look, there's Little Brush Raven with us today.
Hi, Little Brush Raven.
How you doing?
And I appreciate all your fine thoughts about, me feeling better. And I appreciate that. I just love that we have such a supportive community. And it's interesting, isn't it, that Raven, you're so sweet. It's interesting. It's sometimes you just have kind of blue days, kind of blue like Eeyore, but it's not. As long as they're temporary, you're transitioning through them. It's not really that bad. There's perfectly good times to feel a little tired, and then you get some sleep and do some self-care. I had a friend who used to say self-care and then do the most extraordinary things for herself. She'd be like, "I'm sorry, it's a self-care day," which seems to involve the spa. I
need a self-care day.
Yeah, we all do. I'm like, I gotta scream self-care and just go to the
parachute
spa.
out.
She'd be like, self-care, I gotta go to the beach. I'm like,
can we do that?
I don't know, man. She was really good about it. She's like, self-care, I gotta go to goddess retreat.
I'm down with that.
There's a thing called a goddess retreat. Who just perked up in the room, I'm wondering.
Like everybody who's ever been to one, I
Mermaids
imagine.
and mermen, I suppose, both went goddess retreat.
Sounds relaxing.
I think it is. There's lots of hugging and dancing and wonderful foods and poetry writing and coming to terms with life and all of that. And why not have one of those? Right? Why not? And I'm just pulling this for color down. Do you see how this becomes like a tunnel?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Isn't it just wonderful? I loves it.
I do too.
So I'm going to rinse out my brush and I'm going to add another color.
I'm going to adjust that camera just a little bit so that I can see something just a little different.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's blown out.
It's a little bright
go
on that
by
one.
the
See,
reference picture. If you're
it's
wondering at home what the heck is going on, go by the reference picture,
it's a little
not
bright
John's
there.
camera adjustment. We had a little trouble getting color on
what
the
it
mermaid.
is that we're just so light right now. See, you're so much lighter than you were in the original. See, it's closer to white there. So.
Oh, because I added a lot of white. Go with what I did, though. It's really nice looking in real life. John's just got it. It's the other camera that's off.
But don't worry, I can fix that one too.
Oh, from over there?
I can do that.
From robot.
See, watch. See, let's see if I can get robot camera. See how much more different robot camera looks now?
Okay, yeah, that's good.
See, and then I just
that's what it is. Whatever you just saw there is what it is.
And then I just have to go over to this magic camera and say something like that.
Be more reasonable.
See, and then it does it. You can see it.
I don't know. It seems a little washed out. Okay. Definitely go with the reference picture.
There we go. As you get some yellow on there, see, it's just white.
It'll come together.
Yeah, you just see.
So I'm going to rinse this out. I put out a little burnt sienna. I can still faintly see my ocean line.
Whoop, go down there.
When you're doing water and it's not frothy, boy, make it level. Whatever it is, water will level, no matter what. It literally is a level. They use it for leveling. So I'm going to take a little of my burnt sienna over to my phthalo. I'm mixing much more blue than brown. If I had more brown than blue, it would be gray. And it wouldn't give you that good, cold ocean color. And I want it to be quite dark. And I'm going to come along my horizon. And the first layer of this is a 2-layer process for this type of ocean to get this type of effect. The first layer is just your solid color. Having fun on a Sunday painting art. Once I have that in, I'm going to put a little of my glazing medium on my brush. You could put a little more white paint and water. And I'm going to just go back and forth as level as I can. And what I especially want is, do you see the streaking?
I do see the streaking.
You want the streaking if you can get it. If you can get it today, that would be something that you would want to have. In your life, in your art. Have some streaking in your art.
So what brush are you using there?
I am still in my number 10. This is a number 10 bright silver ruby satin.
Ooh.
Yep.
Ruby satin.
Ruby satin. Not playing today.
Not seen you use that in a long time.
Yeah. Not playing today, right?
Yeah.
We're not playing today. Have so many fun brushes. And
it's the green one.
It's the green one.
I like the blue ones.
I like the blue ones too. But there's a backstory there that I'll tell you.
Different. It's a tale for another story.
It's a tale for another day.
Look, I used a pun. It's a mermaid tale story.
All right. Oh, I like that you did that.
All right. He's not as good.
We're punrific today.
Yeah, I'm just.
I think just for doing puns, we get a little.
You know, the universe.
We get a little aggro from our community when we use too many puns.
I think there's something about puns are the power that development is run on. So if you're a developer,
I know it.
So that's not Prussian blue you're using, is it?
Is that what?
The blue you're using, it's not Prussian blue, is it?
Okay, if you really, really can't get phthalo, you could use Prussian. You're going to end up with a really dark and moody piece.
Oh, so you're not using Prussian. You're using
phthalo. Yeah.
But
if you had to, that's all you had.
Gotcha.
Listen, whatever tutorial you're doing here on wherever you're doing one, definitely do a color mixing chart, but know that your paint is fine. You know, you may just get a slightly different result. The colors may not mix the same. So if you, as long as you do some color tests to see what greens you get, what blues you get, what results you get, then you can kind of work out anybody's little deal for yourself. You don't have to worry so much. You could take my big art quest and learn how to make a color chart, and then you're like, I do what I wanted to do. I'm not charging me.
So
all right, so isn't that lovely?
It is. Now, Reagan was asking here.
Hi, Reagan.
She's like, how do I get YouTube to notify me right away when you guys go live? There's a way to do that, though.
Sure.
Okay.
They tell us there is.
Next to the subscribe.
So this is what it's supposed to be. There's a subscribe button, and then it says some wonderful growing number that you guys have helped me grow. In the middle of that is a teeny tiny little butt. Not butt. Bell.
Bell. There's a bell.
You can see how I feel about it. You know what I call it off camera now. Anyways, what they would like you to do now is it's not enough to subscribe to your favorite creators on YouTube. You have to go by and mash the bell, and then you have to select the way you'd like to be notified and confirm with them that you really, really do mean you're subscribed to me or Poodoo Pie.
Or any other YouTuber.
Or any other YouTuber that you might be subscribed to. And if you don't do that, they won't tell you.
Yeah, it's like,
and even if you do that, they might not tell you in your subscription feed.
Wait, I think, yeah.
So you got to look. Who do you love? Keep track. Also, if you're ever worried about getting notifications or knowing what we're doing, ArtSherpa.com. There's chat there, live chat going on. There's always information there. Facebook always has some info. Instagram sends out notifications. We try to notify into our social media so that we're not totally dependent. But mash the bell.
Yeah.
Mash the bell. And actually even check that you're subscribed. Because sometimes they just like to unsubscribe you because they think you might not mean it.
I think that...
Actually, they say they don't do that, though. Officially, they say that never happens. So I don't know what's actually happening.
I think that if... Look, there's a little thing.
There you go.
So you
bell. Yeah, that's all the ways to find out where we are.
Yeah, you click that little box, and then that box, and then that box.
Yeah, and if you want to really, really know that we're live, you also can go down to the upcoming playlist and click another notification there. So they'd really like you to say, no, I really want to learn to paint for free. I'm not kidding, YouTube.
Okay.
Because they think you're kidding.
Okay.
No, I don't know what they think.
No, this is the question. So while you're doing that,
I'm being funny but not serious. Funny but not serious, Shirley. Sorry. This is not going to be okay today, is it?
Now, can you add anything to raw sienna to make it burnt sienna?
Yeah, black.
Oh.
Raw sienna is sienna that has been heated, and it darkens it and deepens the color. And if you're really, really stuck in a pinch, add a teeny tiny titch of Cad Red and some black, and you can get pretty close.
Cool. Okay.
I mean, you can fake it pretty good.
Excellent.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
Alrighty then. I'm going
We've
to...
been chatting for a while.
What?
Now that we've been chatting for a while, let's get back to our painting.
Let's go back to our painting. So I'm going to go into the blues that John likes so much, and I have a number 8 over here. I got to get my number 10 back. Oh. I got a number 8 over here.
No, I'm wandering around. There you are.
Okay. So this is, again, what do these brushes all have in common? They're synthetic firm fiber. They are bright. This particular brush has a very engineered taper edge and a super, I don't know if you can see it, super sharp tip that always goes back into shape. I really like that. It's a number 8 and it's a bright. So when you're looking on a brush, you're looking here, how long is it? How firm is it? You're looking here, what's its number? Right? And you're looking here, it tells you what kind of brush it is. Generally, if you're having trouble in your painting at all, it's your brush. I'm going to go ahead and splurge and put out my burnt umber. Yeah. Let's splurge. If you don't have it, just everything I'm doing, just do with burnt sienna.
No, okay. Can you know burnt umber? What's the difference between burnt umber and burnt sienna?
This has a much redder profile, and this has a much cooler, grayer profile. So you get a little play in your rocks. You know, rocks are kind of odd beasts, right? Especially sea rocks, because they're sort of drearier and drearier. And I'm going to put out a little of the... No, I don't know I need that yet. Look, I'd really like to do that, but I think I'm going to leave it where we're at for the base. And the blue is how we're going to darken it. I'm going to go ahead and prime my brush with water. And I'm going to take, first off, a little of my blue over to my umber. If you don't have it, just do this right at your burnt sienna. Right? I'm just being silly and fun because I want lots of textures and things. So I'm going to come a few inches, it's about 3 fingers, above my horizon line here. And if you think of the halfway point here, I'm going to come at least to that halfway point. Now I'm going to do a fun thing that I like to do, which is to make a very uneven shape. I like to make an uneven shape. And I've got to kind of curve it down because she needs somewhere to sit, doesn't she? Now I might draw her a little tuchus a bit into the rock. Right? And I'm going to take this just past my horizon line a bit and wander it back below, coming down at least maybe 2 fingers to here. You guys see that? Oh, yeah. So we've gone past the horizon line 2 fingers and above the horizon line at least 3. And I'm going to fill that all in with this dark color, which you're either doing with your burnt sienna or your burnt umber. And the difference between using the two, and I just wanted to have a little fun demoing that, the difference between the two is that when you work them together, because one is cooler like this one and one is warmer, they'll play closer and further apart and give the rock a lot of personality for being a dreary little soul. Because we don't want dreary rocks, we want interesting rocks. If hopefully you guys are here for the Angelooney collab. But my Angelooney collabs are going to have a lot more of these going on in 2017. Angela Anderson is one of my favorite artists on YouTube.
You guys do a lot of collabs together.
We do. And if you want to know about what's happening, like vote on themes and stuff, like right now there's a furious vote going on about Scottish castles and fairies and campers and other interesting things people would like us to paint. We do polling there. We do all kinds of things. It is a completely friendly zone. We got a no mean policy. We don't put up with no mean. And so it's a safe place to share your art too. So you can share your art at TheArtSherpa.com. You can join the Facebook group Angelooney if you are a Facebook person. And meet a lot of other people on an art journey and tell them what you bought at the art store this week and what you're painting, what you're working on, what you're thinking about.
Now, are you going to be using any more iridescent paint soon?
I could, especially, I'll tell you what, guys, if that fairy pulls ahead, right?
Yeah.
Go make that fairy win.
Yeah.
Go make the fairy win. I think Angel's hope. She's like, what's with the Scottish castle? I'm like, I don't know. Everybody here wants to paint a Scottish castle today. I guess we're going to do that. So I've got this first rock. It's an interesting shape, isn't it? I don't know if it's not interesting, but I'm going to just wipe off a little of my paint and come over to my burnt sienna, which you can see is a little warmer. And I'm going to take just a titch of my blue and kind of darken that, but it's still brown, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Very, very brown. And this is going to help me differentiate these two rocks. So about, maybe 2.5 fingers, even 3 fingers above this rock, I'm going to make a little mark. And I'm going to draw another little rock. He lives here in the ocean. This rock is here, has been a mermaid perch since time forgotten.
Ooh.
The mermaids have been coming here, staring at their little solstice sun. I don't know, I'm just riffing now.
Now, what are you using there for palette paper?
This is Strathmore palette paper.
And
right there. See, this is a special paper pad with smooth, poly-coated surface. Basically means acrylic paint don't stick to it. And water doesn't soak through it. It doesn't really work with wax paper for me.
Now, if you use a palette knife, you can actually get like all the paint off that stuff.
Dude, it's crazy. When you're working this thing with a palette knife, it's like, I can get every drop.
Yeah, you can like...
every drippy drop of my color.
Squeeze it off.
Alright, I don't think these are too cloned. Sometimes you'll hear me talk about cloning, which means these two shapes are just too much like each other. And I feel like I need some interest, and so you're just trying to go like, how can I be interesting? Because you're just a rock, so be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to rinse out my brush a little bit since I'm in a cheeky mode. And now, because of the mermaid's tail affecting the water, I have got to sketch her in. So I'm going to have to dry her.
Ooh.
And that's John's favorite part, because you get to talk to John and ask him questions, and he can read the chat.
I can.
So I just outed him out. And he knows even some art answers now.
I do?
I think he's been here a while. Like, he's practically done the entire big art quest.
I've watched it.
Which is rebooting, and no, I'm not leaving YouTube.
I pushed mute on the wrong button. Look at that. So while I'm gonna turn the music up for her. There she goes. So first, I'm gonna say thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us today. You know, I just like being here and doing all this kind of stuff. And while she's doing that, I will push this button. Oh, look at that! And then I'll push this button. Hey, look! That's where you guys can come hang out with everybody else after this. So up on TheArtSherpa.com, we have polls, we have chat, we have all that kind of stuff like that. Don't forget, you can find all of the brushes and stuff that we're using here with the brush guys. And they have a coupon code there where you can get 5% off using TheArtSherpa.com.
And we like them.
And we like them.
And they ship around the world.
And they do. And that's why we love them.
Painting has a big problem.
What's that?
Huge. And I'm wondering if anyone can see it.
I
know you should never just ask people generalized questions because artists' objectives, they could be like, pink is this painting's big problem, I'll tell you right now.
It's pink.
But there's a structural big problem with this painting, and I'm going to show you how I fixed it. And I recognized it and stopped, and I'm going to show, because this happens to me. Like sometimes you're just goofing with your friends and painting and having a nice time, and you're not paying attention to your lines.
I don't know what happened. Did it,
okay.
The horizon and the
this right here?
Is it crookedy?
This is a hill. And you would not have a hill in water.
That's true. You
would
do
not.
Have,
but that's okay because I had to switch to this brush anyways pretty soon. So, but this is a number 4 bright.
You need to flatten that out.
And I'm going to flatten this out.
I see.
And that's something to look for.
Now, I wouldn't have necessarily caught that.
It can be really hard to see what's wrong in your art, especially, you might not know this, when you're here on your painting.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a secret?
I can, yeah.
You can't see it.
Yeah, go back up.
You can try backing up. You might not be able to see it still. Your brain won't tell you what you need to know, especially when you're new to painting. Oh. You won't see it till like 3 months later when you're looking at that painting going, that has really bugged me the last 3 months. Trick to seeing it when you can't see it. Periodically, take your painting off the canvas or the easel and go look at it in the mirror or photograph it with your cell phone. That will help your brain separate from the job it's doing, get the left brain. So your left brain is the critical part of you that's going to say, that is jacked up. But when your right brain's in charge, it shuts your left brain up. So your left brain doesn't get to have an opinion anymore about stuff, which is why it feels so good to paint. But sometimes you need your left brain to be subjective and really evaluate things, and that's how you get out of your own way and see what's happening on canvas. However, my left brain is allowed to have an opinion on occasion while I'm painting now. So it tells me, you made a hill.
All right.
It doesn't look right. You should fix it. Or people will think, what is going on? ASMR people just went, what? I love it. Sure,
so you're going to fix this. You're going to fix that.
I'll fix it. How you doing today?
So, and we have little brush Thorin and little brush Raven.
Hi, little brush Thorin and Raven.
And I think I saw...
Do we have Janine's little girls in today?
I think Janine's little girls are here today. I think Janine's here.
Oh, wonderful.
I think I saw Janine.
Okay, I just got to say to any of my
defocusing.
Aussie friends or Korean friends, anyone who's like getting up at a crazy hour to see these lives.
Millie and Josie are waking up right now. Yes, yes.
So see how that's just sort of helping it?
Oh, yeah.
Just going to come in there and just fix that. And sometimes you've got to. Sometimes you're like, man, what is going on? And this is such a critical thing in a painting.
Haley is here.
Hi, Haley. That it's super important to stop and just correct it. And everybody has moments in their paintings. Everybody.
Now, I'm with Kathy here, and she's concerned, like, what if we don't have a brain to see this? Can we use, like, a straight edge or...
Yes. Or...
Because I'm like, I never see this.
Or one of my very favorites.
Tape.
Because some engineer cut this tape straight. I just used very expensive tape to demo something.
Well, that's okay. Show us.
I'm just saying I got to do it above. But like say I had to raise the water line to here.
Okay. But that
right? I could do it there. And I can check my edge if I needed to with my very inexpensive whopping $3 straight edge.
And you would see that is your water level?
It's level.
All right.
So that's how you can do that. By the way, I'll show you at some point. I'll have a tip on how to make some low tack tape for the cheap.
Gotcha.
Yourself at home. Now I have to dry this again so I can... Well, I think I can get away with sketching. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
All right. What little charcoal pencil do I have that's unguarded today? So I've got here either watercolor pencil or white charcoal. White charcoal is a little easier for me to work with, and I think sometimes easier for you guys to see.
Let's see what we got here.
Sharpen it out and see what it does. And I'm going to show you how I sketch her in.
Okay.
Now, again, it's perfectly fine to use the traceable and use one of our tracing methods. We demo this in a lot of the paintings, but you're just going to be transferring the image onto the canvas.
Okay.
But a lot of people ask me how I draw, and I'm
how do you draw?
How do I draw? So one of the first things I like to do when I'm drawing is put in a gesture. That is not showing.
Hi, little brush Haley.
Hi, little brush Haley. There it is. This pastel. This is a blue-gray pastel pencil. When all else fails, get chalkier. So to do that, I've got to sit there. I know that her little tuchus is going to be right here. So I need to like say, okay, about here is a tuchus, which means I need a curved spine right here. So I've curved that.
Yeah.
That's the gesture of her body. Every figure makes a gesture. You might not think about that or notice that next time you're sitting in a restaurant. Look at all the people who are sitting and look at the gestures of their body, and you're going to start to see overarching lines. Like they're making little curves, and that conveys a lot emotionally. Being able to put that into a painting is super helpful. So I'm going to curve up a little neck here, and I know that we have a little shoulder that kind of is tucking out and comes behind her back. Her back curves down, and then right about here above my rock, I'm going to pop out a hip bone. Right? Now, wonderful thing about mermaids, they don't have to have proportions like human figures do. Because they're super mermaidy. So nobody has no right to say nothing about your mermaid.
And your mermaids are even super mermaidier.
My mermaids are super mermaidier. And honestly, I think this mermaid's going to end up over my son. So, you know, stuff happens. The other thing that I'm going to do right here is I'm going to put a head, which is really just an oval.
Now, you are really changing the layout
I am,
of this.
man. That happens to me sometimes when I'm freehanding it in. If I was tracing her in, I have that right here.
There it goes. Oh,
see, I got a little off on my gesture.
Your gesture is she's much more leaned over in the new one.
She's much more leaned over in the new one. Maybe I'm worn down. Now, a couple things I can do here. I can paint this out, right, and re-put it back in.
Oh,
which I'm inclined to do.
Well, show me how you would do that.
Yeah, I'll show you how to do that. Say you sketch something in and it's just gone jacked up. Get some clean water.
You're just like, what happened?
Yeah, happens. Get some stiff brushes. I'm going to go natural bristle here. This is a Cambridge bristle braid.
I think that the mermaid you were drawing there, she got curious and was like looking over the edge there too much.
She just got sadder.
It looks like she was perked up looking over the edge. Like,
perked up looking over the edge.
What's on the other side of that?
So do you see how I'm taking this water and just scrubbing this out?
It's just disappearing.
It's just disappearing. I like when things go wrong in my process sometimes during the live show because you guys get to see how I might possibly course correct. Right?
You just like dab that right out. Now that was a what kind of?
This is just natural bristle. What I was looking for was something that was a little bit scruffier than maybe even my synthetics. But if all you had was your good stiff synthetic.
What kind of pencil was that you were using that did that so easy?
Pastel.
There's a pastel.
That
pencil?
is the point in pastel or chalk or watercolor pencils is they erase in this way.
Oh, neat.
However, there was some subtractive loss here.
Oh, I see. Hold on, we'll zoom in on that.
The cheaper your paint is, the more you'll see this event. I'm painting golden, so golden's whole purpose in life is to stick to my canvas. It's very particular about being able to do that. But in a lot of circumstances, right?
If it was totally dry, would it have done that?
Oh no, the tip of my pencil came out.
You need a spare. There's a couple sharpeners right there.
Okay, now I'm going to have to get into this.
There's other sharpeners there next to you.
It's just that all right, that'll show. So what I'm going to do is I still want to show you how I draw her in. I'm just going to give myself a couple guides.
Okay.
So I know so I don't get lost in my arc. I'm not saying she won't be a little bit different. Right? Because ideally I want her tail to sort of come off here and go over here. Okay. Well, I've just extended the length of this lesson.
That's okay. We're all right. We're here hanging out, watching this.
All right.
Learning.
So I'm going to come and now I'm going to arc, still do my gesture. Still have my gesture, but I know that she's going to finish here. And that just repositions her a little bit. So I'll put the head here. A little closer to what we originally had. We'll see how that goes.
I think that just the sun is a little higher in the other one, too.
Yeah. Which I can move this up to, but I probably will just leave it alone. I'm going to pull my shoulder back out. It's just to bump the shoulder, right? There's my neck. Only this side of the neck is going to show, so you don't really have to worry that much about that. I'm going to draw an anchor arc for these shoulders. And that way I can have my little other shoulder right here. See how that's there?
Yeah.
And now I'm going to pop up my hip. Drawn on surfaces that don't want to be drawn on. And I kind of flatten because her weight is on her tail here. That's how that ended up a little bit flattened. And I've got my little shoulder here. Look at me just dealing with problems, right? And I know the arm is going to come out this way. Now, here's the thing, depending on how you want to edit your mermaid. I think I got a little risky with my mermaid. I was talking about it with Dawn. But that's where I was at.
And that's fine.
I'm going to draw on a little waist here because I just definitely want her to be a little curved in. And I've got kind of this little silhouette of her feminine figure. We'll just say that that's what's happening. Right? Now her tail is going to arc out. And you can have a lot of different length tails because, again, other than that mermaid documentary on the Sci-Fi Channel that my kids believe is completely real, and things proves this beyond all shadow of a doubt, I don't get an opinion anymore. There isn't a lot of mermaid reference.
Right.
So you get to make this your own. I'm going to do a straight line. And this kind of would be where our knees were. And then, for interest, I'm going to curve this line back. And that is obviously longer than, say, a femur would be on a human leg. I'm going to come here. And I looked at a reference of several fishtails when I was doing this to get a sense of things. And that's what like a lot of artists do is they look at references of the natural world to make decisions when you couldn't possibly know what it would be. Now hopefully you can see this here. I'm going to make the little tail. The tail is going to wander out like this and out like this. Can you guys see that? Again, if you've got the traceable, you're golden. It would be perfect for you. But if you're like, I'm working on my art skills.
But if you can't draw at all, is that okay to just use the traceable?
It's so okay to use the traceable. Everybody started art not being able to draw. So it's ridiculous to say drawing is what makes an artist because every born artist didn't start out drawing. Now, that's a learned skill.
So is it
ridiculous people need to stop saying ridiculous things.
So is it fair to say that tracing is one of those steps on the way to learning to draw?
It's incredibly fair to say. And honestly, even when you learn to draw really well, imagine that I bought a very fine piece of Arch's watercolor board.
Okay.
And it was hand pressed or it was somehow really expensive for me. Maybe $20 in the size range for a single sheet. Practicing, having this like little mess up would ruin it. I would have thrown my money away.
Right.
I'd just be like heartbroken. This stuff, this tracing paper stuff, is dirt cheap. So I can do all kinds of sketches. If I have an area of a sketch, that might be a good video. If I have an area of a sketch I like, I can keep that area and fix it on the next sheet of tracing paper.
Yeah.
I can build on my successes. I can throw away my mistakes. I'm not wasting a lot of money. When I get something I love, like I love this one, then I can put it on a lot of different images. I can use it again and again and again. I can scan it and share it with you so you can use it. And then I didn't waste $20 on my very expensive board. And I think if you're with the Frugal Craft or with anybody online who paints watercolor, they're going to be like, yeah, I don't like to waste my money. I don't either. Do you?
No.
Do you?
No.
Do you? No. I'm in a cheeky mood today. Okay. Hopefully I'm high energy and we're going. Okay. So I'm going to do my little wiggle, which is this tail sort of, how sometimes things ripple in the water. And that's what's going to give my ripple effect going off. And I'm going to take my tail. You'll notice that I continued the line off because the tail's dragging and it's changing the current of the water. Again, looking at references to make these decisions. Right? So that's how I get that information. And this tail is actually going off my canvas because I just made her bigger that time. So you go with what you got, right? Now, I know my elbow for her arm is going to be at waist length. I didn't use a model for the human part of the figure. I just sort of used my understanding of human anatomy to make that decision about how she would be drawn. That's a good and bad thing when you're doing it. So see how she is?
Yeah.
And I know I'll be flowing some hair out. So I'm going to let her sit there for a minute and my mind rest because I went through a lot. I'm going to put my little sun in, which is a little lower today. Don't let the little stuff throw off your whole art game. Sometimes your sun's a little lower. Happens. Just paint it in.
Now, what brand of tracing paper do you use?
Whatever is cheapest at the art store. I think that is Arches. Could be Strathmore because they tend to run competing sales. My whole thing on art supplies is unless there's something specific that you're attached to. Like I am super attached to Titanium White by the Golden Colors Paint Company. I think it is far superior to all other whites. So I will make a point of always getting that. But sometimes I think other things are not far superior from brand to brand, and I will just work a sale.
Right.
And tracing paper is one of those things where I'm just like, I don't really feel a big difference from brand to brand that impacts me as an artist. So in that case, my pocketbook is my primary deciding factor.
Although I'd be willing to bet that if you went and talked to somebody who worked in the field of like traditional animation,
they might have some feelings about it.
They might have some real feelings on vellum and
well, vellum and tracing paper are not the same thing at all, and I have feelings on vellum.
Yeah.
So you opened it up, didn't you?
Oh, well, see.
You started it. And all the rendering artists went, what? No, I'm just kidding. They look a lot alike.
They do.
They do, but they really behave differently. I don't know. And then nowadays with Yupo paper, it's just hard to say what direction you would want to go. So see, I've got my nice little sun there. It's also a little bit bigger this time. Happens.
Oh, huh.
What?
So, Dom sees a little bear in your palette with a little hat there with a blue jacket on. So I was like, oh, I can see that.
I see it.
There's a little bear in your palette.
I see it. You guys are so funny when you see stuff in my palette. I get like these. When I was first on YouTube, people would like give me these messages like, I see an eagle. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I painted something else. But okay. I don't want to infringe on somebody's subjective right to interpret the art. But it was a mushroom. But they would yell. But they were talking about seeing stuff in the palette, and I found that out and thought that was so interesting. All right, here's how I'm gonna do water. I'm gonna get a little of my burnt sienna over to my phthalo blue, phthalo blue, phthalo blue, 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 blue. You can even at this stage put out a little green. Why am I singing today?
'Cause you're a good singer.
No, that's not true. I'm campfire ready. I'm adding
campfire ready.
I'm adding a little phthalo green to it. If you didn't have phthalo green, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
You could just not. But I'm gonna.
Could you gonna
add a little white, and I'm gonna start making these little brush strokes. See how like a hot mess on my brush it is?
I was just coming down to look at that. Yeah.
That's very helpful.
It is
right now because it's giving me lots of different little values on my brush. If I were painting a portrait, right? And I was trying to paint a super realistic, exact representation of something, this would not be okay. I would have to have absolute control of every color, and I would be mixing unified colors that were very, very uniform throughout, right? And I would not be messing with that at all in that way. That would not be happening. So I'm just taking this sort of mixed up thing. You can, on occasion, go get a little more white on there. I'm doing a thing I like to call offloading.
What is that?
This is where I press the brush down and pull out to get the excess paint off.
Ah.
I can also come and offload onto my towel. That's the word, towel. I've added a little more white, and I'm just sort of bringing a little of that in just to make sure that water is not, it's mysterious. It has moods.
Does it?
Allow your water to have moods, man. I'm going to bring a little burnt sienna over here. Allow your water. And I'm going to add, see there's a little more green in there. And I'm just dashing this along. Lovely?
Lovely.
Lovely, lovely. You can even, if you're feeling cheeky and brave, only doing this with quinacridone magenta, add a little quinacridone magenta and it creates a cooler value to the water. Just dashing these strokes along.
Well,
those of you that have painted the Monet paintings with me are going dab, 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 dab. You're like, oh, I got this. I'm ready. I've been ready. I was born ready, Sherpa. Born ready. I'm ready to paint it. I know it's in me. The art's in me, and I feel it.
So,
I feel it in my soul.
Now, what is it the little texture you're adding is doing? What is that for?
Well, that's creating all the little micro values that you might see in water as it's in the ocean. It's not perfectly still today. It's not a glass surface. If it was a glass surface, it would just reflect everything above it. But there's wind blowing. There's a current afoot. Things are moving up to these rocks.
Oh.
I'm over here moving them up to these rocks. I'm not really rinsing my brush, am I?
No.
I'm allowing these colors to build, change, and alter. And I'm painting a little bit over my tail.
Why are you doing that?
So that I have a smooth water flow behind my mermaid.
Oh, right.
So it's believable.
So it disappears, so the little wave things you're making disappear a little bit behind her.
As I'm going to move forward,
fin.
right? As I'm going to move forward a couple of places,
Yeah.
I may start to lighten up some of these colors for the last about inch of this painting. I love painting oceans. If you know some of what I do in other paintings that I do like these horses swimming in water because I'm weird. And so I'm really into painting this. It's what I do, and I like it so much. So I'm going to take a little of my yellow, over to my blue, and I'm going to get back into that aqua I had going earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can even add a little green to make it even more aqua. Did you know you could?
I did.
You did? You've been here so long.
A couple times.
All right, and I'm going to start taking this lighter color in the front. See how this lighter color is coming in the front?
Oh, yeah.
Take your lighter color in the front. Don't be afraid, it's just art. And that's the important thing. Don't be stressed about it. It's always so fun when you have new students, they make a mistake, and they're like, oh, no.
No.
Oh, no. It's like, no, it's just a painting. Breathe. Your art can dry and be fixed.
Now, if you have a hue paint, like if you have cadmium yellow hue,
yes,
can you
kicked out of the art club? No, just kidding.
Well, can you?
I just grabbed some darker paint and I'm adding it to make sure I have value.
Can you add cadmium to make it pop more, or is there a way to make a cadmium?
No,
color?
don't ever use any. Okay, so cadmium paint is not intrinsically dangerous on its own, especially if it's going from your palette to your canvas.
Right.
Cadmium powder that you might get from the industry is crazy dangerous, and you should never use it.
Okay. So
you should never ever use it. If you want real cadmium, just go buy the tube of paint. It's a new kind of. You can read up on it online. I've written a blog on it on TheArtSherpa.com, and it's much safer to use if you're making paint. Sorry, babe, if I stepped on that cable.
Oh no, you're good.
If you're making paint, let me tell you, you're not making lead paint. No, you're not. You're not making cobalt paint. No, you're not. You're not making alizarin paint. No, you're not. And you're sure not making cadmium paint, okay? But go, even if you're like, I'm a fabulous oil artist and I'm making these boutique colors, just go get the oil, those colors.
Yeah.
The stuff that'll kill you, 'cause seriously. Factories, good paint factories, they have precautions. You don't have feelings on that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's funny because usually Sherpa doesn't have that strong of feelings, but I have some strong feelings on that because that's new now. Everyone's making paint.
Yeah,
They're making their own paint.
But don't do that. Just buy some.
I mean, if you must make your own oil paints, like keep it to like a burnt sienna or something that won't cause you and your pet to die. Because that's depressing. And then they'll start talking about my cadmium taking it away, and I know not to eat my paint.
So that soapbox.
That is my soapbox.
That was the
Did you feel my soapbox? I soaped my soapbox. Ooh, I have a soapbox somewhere.
Where's yours? Where Alan sent you your soapbox? Where is that? There it is.
What does today's soapbox say?
Let's see what it says.
Let's give me some bubbles. Ding!
You have a dinger.
I have a dinger. Oh.
Ding!
Today's soapbox says, it's okay to use what you have. You don't have to use the same things as I do. Sherpaism.
You already said that today.
Huh?
You said that today already.
You want me to get a new soapbox?
No,
I
it's
have
fine.
So many cards in the soapbox.
I'm just
How about
wondering.
this?
I'm wondering.
Never judge your journey by the first steps. or just a scotch. Whatever pearl of wisdom you need, it's in the Sherpa soapbox. I'm sorry. I'm going to offload my brush now, Mr. Cooney.
Okay. I'm watching my secondary screen start to have issues there.
All right. We're going to take a little white paint along this line, lightening this up. And the reason that we're doing that is because as the water is flowing around this tail and off, it's creating some currents. And so now I have to change some of what I was talking about in my water flow. I'm going to flow a little bit of this off. See, I'm doing that. And maybe a little bit here.
I think I just saw Angela Anderson. Oh, she is here.
Hi, Angela Anderson. Angela Anderson. So we're super excited. We're going to be doing some new collabing.
Some collabing.
Collabing. So Angela, you know, she's got her little Angela Anderson stuff like Angelooney. But we get together and she does that with me as Angelooney. And then she also has Thankful Art, which is just Angela Land.
Yes.
If you want to have some just Angela Land, which is pretty awesome.
And this is a collab with you and Angela, yeah?
This is a collab with me and Angela. So it's an Angelooney event.
It's Angelooney.
It's Angelooney.
And because in order for us to get together a whole bunch of mermaids, and what's that called?
Gossip.
A gossip of mermaids.
We want to gossip. So Angela, she has a gossip. Her mermaid has purple hair.
Ooh.
It's purple hair.
I saw it.
And it's underwater. It's a 2-parter with the coral reef. It's like, seriously, I wonder if anyone just stops and realizes that that's like, if you were to pay for that workshop, that 2-part workshop at an art store, how much that would cost.
Well,
it's just online YouTube.
Do you know how much our Sherpettes like it?
How much?
500 likes. So that much.
Do they?
We're already at 500 likes.
We gotta play.
Did you know we have over 430 people in the room with us?
No, hello, 430 people in the room.
This has
How
been
mermaids and mermen alike. Who's got mermaid hair?
Sherpettes and light
I almost
keepers.
have mermaid hair, but it's not long. Huh?
Sherpettes and light keepers.
Sherpettes and light keepers. And mermaids and mermen.
And Angela's angels.
And Angela's angels. Okay, did anyone hear that recently? That's just happened. Angela's angels. If you're an Angela angel, raise your hand. Our angels art angels.
Does that mean that her husband gets to be the disembodied voice on the speakerphone? For Angela's angels.
I think just for being named Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
It's just, there's just no way when he's on that. It does, I know she's heard it like nonstop, but there's just no way to not. If you're searching Angela Anderson on YouTube.
So we've just given you guys a whole bunch of reasons to go over to her place, click subscribe,
and
watch
it's in
a
the
couple
iCard
of,
and in the description. We're outlining the tail in white, guys. Very lightly in white, outlining it. And then taking some of these little brush strokes into the water, see, horizontally.
So why are you using white?
Because this is where the water would be churning and it would have the salt in and it would be frothy. Wouldn't it?
Yes.
That's what it does. And when I put the gold in the tail, I want it to seem real. Yeah, you can go. Angela Anderson has a YouTube channel that's in the links in the description. And if you're... Everyone keeps saying, is it wrong that I don't know what an iCard is? No, the only reason I know what an iCard is because YouTube keeps training me about YouTube. It's that floating eye, if you were wondering why that floating eye was there. Just floating around the screen up there in the corner. You click it, information will come down. Sometimes it'll pop up at you, which is also interesting. I'm going to get some more white. Some more white. And I'm going to have to come back to my rocks in a second, but I'm just going to run a little. Can you see how I go on? This is a very interesting thing I do. I go on my edge, and I curve back, and then I dash, and then kind of on my edge pushing down, dash. See how I'm creating this water?
I do.
But wait, what did I do there? I went wiggle, jiggle, line. Wiggle, jiggle, line. Come around with a little wiggle, jiggle.
Ooh.
Water. I'm not playing.
You know what I'm going to do for just a second?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to come out here and I'm going to give you a kiss because I want to celebrate.
Oh, we get music? Can I have bubbles and a kiss?
Yeah,
bubbles
and a kiss.
And a kiss. Bubbles and a kiss. Bubbles and a kiss. Bubbles and a kiss and a kiss and some bubbles. Bubbles and a kiss. Bubbles and a kiss. Bubble and a kiss and some kiss and some bubbles.
Celebrate for everybody.
Thank you,
It's
guys.
really, we should be kissing you, but we kiss each other. So.
Eye to eye.
So just want to say thank you to you guys. It's been fun hanging out with you guys. We love doing this. And, having all you guys here with us makes it ever so more special. So thank you for coming and hanging out with us, doing all this fun stuff, And, we'll do some more mermaid painting here, too.
Should we do some more?
We should do some more.
We should finish it up. They're probably sick of being here.
Probably. I don't think so. I think everybody's having a pretty good time.
It is a good time. We do have a good time. So before we get going in the rock, let's put her underpainting in. And when I say underpainting, what I'm saying is that first layer of paint that I've got to put in before I start layering out all the details to get that beautiful gold tail. Picture. That beautiful gold tail.
All right, hold on.
It's very scaly, and her wonderful skin tone and her lovely hair. And, of course, we need to get these rocks in. But we got to put a layer of paint in. It's the only way to get there.
Gotcha.
So my little trick for a very, 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 very simple skin tone is to take a little of my quinacridone, my paint skinning. I don't know if anyone can see that, which means it's starting to dry on the surface. And I'm going to get my yellow ochre, and I'm going to make this sort of rosy color. Little peachy, little rosy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, notice I'm pressing down and offloading.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to come over to my white. And I may need to put some fresh white here for success because this is all surrounded in blue. But I want to mix a very, very light color.
Okay.
Very light. Because she's aquatic. All right. So, come over here.
Thorin says, good job on the water.
Thank you! I love doing my water. See how light that is?
Oh, yeah.
Girlfriend should not be exposed to the rays of the sun very long. Or maybe she has something besides melatonin.
Magical skin that reflects.
Magical mermaid skin that doesn't sunburn like mine. Take me to the equator, I would die. Die fast.
Burst into flames.
Yeah. So I'm going to come here and I'm just going to do this. Now, I'm going to have to create some shadows and things. I thought about this. Actually, I was talking about this with Angela because I was like, I don't know, I got a little side none has happened in there. And so in case you just want to put a shell or something, that's okay.
So how many hoots do you think this is?
2.
2?
I have thought about this a lot, and this is a 2-hoot painting.
2 hoot.
2 hoot. This is something you're going to have a pretty easy time if, say, you've done maybe anywhere between 5 and 10 paintings with me.
Okay.
You'd be like totally ready for all little processes. If this is your very first painting, it might feel a little challenging, but you're going to get through it and you're going to surprise yourself.
Yeah.
3 hoot really shouldn't be your first painting.
Right. But you could take this on.
You could take this on. It would just feel a little like stretching really hard in an exercise class. So I'm taking the skin tone a little bit into the tail around the bend of her back.
Okay.
And that's because I'm going to be blending the scales of her tail and all that what's happening there up into her back in a way that feels a little more integrated and seamless.
Well, Patrick would like to say that his mom is painting along with you today.
Is your mom painting along with me today?
Hi, Patrick's mom.
Hi, Patrick's mom. It's such a great time in your life when you're a mom and like, you're like, so-and-so's mom, I'm Honey's mom. You just meet all kinds of other moms, and then you realize you've walked around the school and you don't know what anybody's name is.
But you know all the moms.
You know all the moms. And then what's worse is when you go into your cell phone, and that's how they're all entered. Right. And then you go to your kid, and you're like, what's so-and-so's mom's name? And they just look at you like, I don't know any mom names. I just know my friend's name. Why don't I know the mom's name? I don't know. It's so-and-so's mom.
And then there's the back channel texting. What's your mom's name? So that my mom can call you. Call your mom.
There is. All the parents are like, yep. I don't know what my mom did before cell phones.
I think that they had little directories and notes.
You know what it was? Is that my mom didn't really have to worry about it because we never had a play date twice.
That's true.
Do you
guys
know why?
were witnesses.
Well, beyond the fact that we're witnesses, yes, that was a super deterrent. We were Jehovah's Witnesses for sure, but not currently. And there's nothing wrong with being a Jehovah's Witness. That's also awesome. But what was our play date deterrent? Was that we lived way out in the country at the end of a dirt road.
You did, too.
In California, where people didn't really do dirt roads. In fact, in San Diego, where people really, really didn't do dirt roads.
Mm-hmm.
So you could probably talk somebody's mom to driving her beautiful luxury vehicle to our house one time.
Right.
Not 2 times. So even though I had a pony,
you were
pond,
way
rowboat,
out there. You were just so, I mean, like you were a drive out in San Diego.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a drive. You usually couldn't get people's moms to come out twice. They were like, you know, she's a nice girl and all, but no.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just coming along here, and I am painting in what I want to have skin tone. Now, some of the stuff I do to control is that my brush is incredibly well engineered. This little number 4 braid is a piece of kit, right? And so even when I'm on the corner, see how fine of a line on the corner of this brush I can get?
I can zoom into the max. Hold on.
Crazy.
Okay, yeah.
See? So I can work really tiny areas with one brush. You may not have that experience.
Well, what brush is that?
This is a number 4 silver bristle tip. This is like that, you know. So you may not have that experience. You might have to use a smaller brush. If you find you're having trouble dealing with the spaces, the size of the spaces, just size down your brush.
Gotcha.
Now, for me, I'm not looking for. I actually want a little bit of the blue and some of that shining through.
Yeah.
Because I feel that makes the skin seem more ethereal and less realistic. Even so, I'm going to add a little water in my brush. All right, I'm going to get a little burnt sienna. You could do your burnt umber. It's just you want a slightly darker color. And I'm going to come right under here where I had my little burnt sienna pastel line. I'm going to make a little shadow. See this, how this just does it with just the corner? Right. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come on the back a little bit where the shoulder's tucking. Create a little line. How fine that line is on this brush. Switch to a detail. If it isn't working for you, don't give up and be like, I can't paint. It's just just get a detail brush.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to put a little hint of a spine here maybe. Not much one. This is skip if you're not feeling comfortable. Skip the spine if you're not feeling comfortable with how your brush is performing. If you are, you can. And maybe a little divot on the hip.
Sorry. And
it's a little dark, so I'm going to get my glaze. And look at that. Soften that out. Doesn't that soften that out? Just creating a little shadow there. And I'm going to soften that out. I'm taking this little brown because a cool thing is about to happen. Rinse, 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 rinse your brush.
What cool thing is about to happen?
Now I am going to put out a little of the cadmium orange. Cadmium orange. I like the orange, the cadmium. Isn't that psycho? Like orange? You can get this with cad yellow light and cad red light pretty close. But I like the just cadmium orange.
Now you just sketch right over. You paint right over your sketch lines.
Yeah, right over them.
And then because they're chalk, anything that doesn't disappear, it just
you
wipes
can take
away.
off. Yeah,
wipes off.
Gotcha. A lot of times I like a little sketch lines on my artwork. It's a weird feeling that I have. It's a way I feel about things. Now I'm going to take this cadmium orange over to my burnt umber. And I get this weird color with these two. It's one of my favorite colors that I can mix.
Ooh.
If all you have is burnt sienna, use burnt sienna. And if all you have is cad red light and cad yellow light, cad yellow, and then make an orange and then take it over your burnt sienna. Don't stop painting because you don't have every single material. So the basis of the scales to look so gold is actually this dark color right here.
Oh.
And I can't get them without that as a basis.
Now, Miss
It doesn't have to be this exact mixture. You just have to get some value of this happening. And I like the cadmium orange because it reinforces the slight glowing effect of this scaled tail.
Mm.
I'm going to go right here. Now, I'm going to, in a very uneven way, take a little of this up and down in an uneven space. Right?
Yeah.
And then maybe a little here because I need to pull these scales. I need to blend them around.
Now, Kim was asking how often you should take your brushes to the spa.
I have to take my brushes to the spa a lot because I use them a lot. When they stop being sharp and they stop holding shape and they're not doing their job for you, you should absolutely take them to the spa. And what Kim's referring to when she says take them to the spa is what I'm talking about when I do a deep cleaning, repairing of my brushes. And if you want to know more about deep cleaning or repairing brushes, I have a very funny, goofy, dorky video I did with the brush guys.
Those are actually really good. You talked about all the different...
We did. We said 3 ways, 3 incredibly cheap ways to repair brushes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all real, and they're all true, and they all work. And we did it in Hawaii. No, we didn't really do it in Hawaii, but it looks like we were in Hawaii. And also I had a cold, and it was a really funny day. Jeff was cracking me up. So see how that just creates that glow? I love that glow. I love my glow.
Now, can you use transfer paper over dried acrylic painting for sketches?
Depends on the transfer paper. I've had success with Martha Stewart's transfer paper, but some transfer paper I haven't had success with. There's one at Kinko's that is like crazy, like transfer over, or no, maybe it's Office Supply. It's transfer paper by transfer paper. What I'll say about the transfer paper is just make sure that the transfer color, pigment, is compatible with your painting. Because some of them will really bleed into. It either won't work on the surface of your canvas, or it'll overwork. But yes. Gosh, I don't know why I couldn't just say yes. I just want to warn people because, like, I know now all the challenges they might run into, and I'm like, but then this could happen. Oh, and I've also seen this. This is crazy. So I'm just painting them. Isn't that nice?
Mm-hmm.
You can start to see her silhouette, her shape, her lumps, her lovely, lovely lumps. I'm not Fergie. That's not happening. Am I moving quickly? I don't know if I'm slow today.
I think we're having fun. I'm not complaining. Nobody else seems to be either, so...
Just a fun time. Painting, painting. I'm going to get some notes about the singing. I do when I sing.
Notes. Oh,
notes.
All over the place there.
YouTube is nothing if not generous with its opinion.
It's true.
They'll tell you what they think of your videos. They'll tell you, they'll say, I like it. You know, or I don't like it. So he was like, I really don't like all the camera switching and looking at that palette.
Well, then don't look at the palette.
Well, no, that's very valid because it might be a different experience for somebody.
That's true.
Right? Be like, I didn't have anyone I knew that wasn't doing the palette thing right now. But, like, it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Though I don't watch like the zip popping videos. So you have freedom. You're just a click away from freedom.
Yep.
Click away from not seeing it. You're not trapped. So I love this color.
I do too.
It's one of my favorites.
It's kind of this. It looks kind of like a football orange, I want to call it.
Yeah. The thing with painting is there's no absolute rules. I'm telling you exactly how I get my results so that you can get this exact result. But you're certainly welcome to just, like, follow your own instincts.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to just get in there and be you. So I'm just using, again, you can see how this brush just allows me to do these complex curves with no difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it for that. I love it for that. All right. So I have these rocks, and I have this gorgeous color. And I never, ever waste the opportunity to use a gorgeous color in a rock. So I'm going to add a little bit of it. Never waste an opportunity to use a gorgeous color on a rock.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new Sherpaism. Alan's writing that down.
But you do that a lot. You'll find a place to put the paint that you have left over on your brush somewhere else on the canvas.
Oh, yeah. And it's a thing that you come into the habit to when you've been painting for a while is unifying your color story.
And that helps when you tie those colors in elsewhere.
I think it does.
Makes your eyes enjoy that a little more, I think.
I feel very strongly that it does. So I've just sort of offloaded my brush, right?
Yeah.
Like you do. And I'm going to get some burnt umber and maybe a little yellow ochre. Here is a lovely combo, right? In rocks. And I'm going to add that. And it's a little different than the orange I put in.
Yeah.
I'm doing, if you notice, I'm like sort of laying down paint in these little sort of furtive, I'm not going back and forth like this in any way. I'm not, no. I'm just dashing along. I am allowing this roughness of this canvas. And here I'm going to actually have to go back and even add some more dark because I painted out my dark more than I wanted to. But rocks are so about the layers. If you want to know more about painting rocks, I have a quest on it, on the Big Art Quest, about painting the rocks.
Whoa.
And we paint a realistic rock. Because, you know, that's what you want to paint, right? Maybe not. Maybe you want to paint an abstract rock. I don't know. It's your painting. It's your art journey. I'm just a guide. So I'm just... You stop at the scenic part you want to stop at. I'm just going to tell you where, you know, the easy trail up the hill is, but it's your climb. It's your climb. So you can kind of see how I'm just going brush, brush, and then come over here and do some brushes, and then I'm down, 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 and over here. And it's really, really fun and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now I'm going to take a little of my blue over to my burnt sienna, which is really, really skinned. See, that skin is there. Hasn't completely cured, so I can work it out. And I'm going to even get a little white into this. And you'll notice when I'm more in the red, how it grays there. Look at that gray. And at the top of the rock, I'm going to add this gray, which is made from burnt sienna and phthalo blue. Burnt sienna and phthalo blue make a ton of colors. Check the color mixing video out because they make a ton of colors. Tons of colors. If you're really struggling with that combo, you can always switch it to ultramarine blue. And I'm going to come here in the middle of this rock, and I'm going to just dust and scumble a little bit of a highlight in the rock. This gives it some shape, doesn't it? Doesn't it imply shape?
Yeah.
Wherever I put a lighter color, that part of the rock is closer to the light source.
Now, can I ask,
You could ask any questions that you like, Mr. Cooney.
have you ever used a wooden palette for acrylic?
Yeah.
How did you like that? Was that okay?
It's not my thing, but then I'm lazy about cleaning, so... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so they were kind of hard to clean.
It's just like, I would say glass is better or marble is better, though not easy to pick up.
Yeah.
Or, you know, polymer acetates or, you know, stuff that the acrylic doesn't really stick to that you can clean easily would be an important, right, thing. I'm going to get some just ochre. Look at how much is going on with this rock. You didn't even know, did you, about rocks?
Yeah.
You didn't know. You thought, oh, that's just these rocks probably, when you were perusing the painting, you were like, that's simple. It is. There's just a lot of layers. What happens, though, when you guys hang in with me and you do the layers and you share on social media, your friends will invariably go, quit your job. You're a painter.
Mm.
You've just got to paint now. We see it in you. You'll be like, oh. No, I like my real estate career, but I might paint too. See how that highlight just pushes?
Oh, yeah.
They go push, push, down, down, down. Down, 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 down. And it's just sort of being comfortable in these spaces, which is why I qualify this as a two-hoot painting. I'm going to rinse out my brush because you know where this rock is?
Where?
It's on the water. And what happens on the water?
Ooh.
I'm going to take a little green and a little burnt sienna and mix them together. Yeah, on the water. And even right here, I might pull up some of this. Things are wet, and therefore they have moss.
Oh.
Close to the water's edge, I'm going to definitely darken and green this up.
Oh, yeah, adding a little
Algae. This is salt water. You know, I'm going to green up here because the waves often are over the top of this.
See, now that we've gotten... I'm gonna lighten that camera up a bit more now that we've gotten all the
color in.
Yeah, the color in.
It's very tough for these cameras sometimes to see artwork. It's such a journey. Such a journey. I hope everyone's gonna come by and join Angelooney and see us on every one of our little adventures. Can't wait to see the mermaids together. I think they're really gonna match well. I just added a little phthalo blue to even darken my green some more. Can you see how that creates that greenness right there? And so if I come here into my yellow, coming and making just a slightly lighter one, come up top, even lighter than that. I say even lighter, what do you say?
Sorry. I say, okay.
Like,
that's cool.
You're painting.
Oh, I like that. I like
just
it.
a little bit of it. Not a lot. Don't go crazy. Or go crazy. It's your painting. Go crazy. The worst that happens is you put in too much.
Cindy would like to know if we could have a merman.
We could have a merman
in the future, because with all the cool gesture and design of cinnamonness in it.
Yeah, I think we need it. I'm going to get a super detail brush.
Okay.
I'm thinking I'm going to get a number 1 bright. could use a number 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to use a number 1. And I'm trying to decide. Oh, doesn't matter. I got to get some white on this number 1.
Kim Sims says we need a hunky man with a trident.
I've got a little white on this. And I'm going to, yes we do. We're going to come along here, just along this rock's edge. We're going to dash up a little water.
Cinnamon's like trying not to process that.
Nah, it's okay. Let's do it from a model live in the studio. Anywho,
get a live merman in here.
I'm just saying.
I don't know where we'll get the water tank. It's gonna get all splash.
That's gonna have some attendance, isn't it?
If I could get a live merman tank in here, are you kidding me? We'd have like 1,000 people when we first turned it on.
Also, we'd never get rid of the kids. They'd be in the mermaid tank. They'd be like, "How'd we get a mermaid?" So what I'm doing is I'm crashing a little wave. You think you're just painting, but what you're really seeing is a little bit of water has pushed up this rock.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't, a stagnant pool. This has happened here. This is what's going on. Some water has come up between those two things, and tell your stories. Be a storyteller in your canvas. Rinsing that out. And I may need to go to a number 2. We'll see how this does. I'm going to start painting in the hair.
Ooh.
And the hair is a fabulous combo of colors. It's the quinacridone and the blue and the yellow and, of course, the Cad Red light. Now, at this point, I'm having some problems because I wasn't able to mist my paint in any way. And so I'm going to have to actually change palettes.
Okay.
Because I'm just at that place.
No, they were asking about that. Why don't you use like a wet palette or something like that?
I really hate wet palettes. I do have a video on how to make a stay wet palette cake palette.
Yeah. But you just don't personally like using them.
At this time, I haven't found one that I enjoy.
Gotcha.
Doesn't mean there isn't one. And it doesn't mean you guys might not have run into the best one in your life you want to share with all your friends right now. That's okay. And I'm not got some sort of weird policy against wet palettes.
It's just experientially you don't like them.
Experientially, I'm putting out the colors I'm going to need for the rest of the painting because I'm done in the water. So what I really have left, right, because I have all this, is her hair and her tail.
Okay. So what colors are you putting out there?
So I'm just going to put the colors out that are required for her hair and her tail, which is pretty much what I had out, but I just want them fresh. The reason I like fresh is when the paint starts to glump up, when it starts to dry. To cure, it creeps up my brush and it doesn't exit the brush smoothly. And I don't like it. I don't. So you can use, if at this point you haven't used any Cad Red light, you could just use the orange right here. Either one would be effective. I'll show you the mixes though, because I want you to have options. So you could just be just orange here. But just in case you were doing these two. Hopefully that's clear. Is it clear, dear? I don't know, dear. Get out my white there. And also probably going to need some glazing liquid to get through. Okay. So we're going to start getting into the color of my hair. And I'm weirdly going to prime my brush with my glazing liquid. You could prime it with water. And I'm going to make a little purple, which is the phthalo blue and the quinacridone magenta. I'm going to add a titch of white to it. There we go. And I'm going to come and make a tendril. I'm going to come off the back of her head here. And I'm going to bring out a tendril. Now the thing when I'm painting hair is that I know I want the end of the hair to be thinner and finer than the beginning of the hair. And I want it to be very wispy. Very technical term. So that's going to be like about extending this line and going fine with it. As I'm traveling up the hair, it is okay to thicken it up as we're bringing it up into the head and paint that in solid. I'm going to keep just doing this, and I'm using a lot of glazing. That's helping my pigment just exit my brush a little bit. But as you can see, since it's a glaze, it's going to make it a little thinner. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little of my white and create some drama here. And I'm going to pull it not to the top of the head. Not to the top. Got a little more pigment. And it's okay. You want it to be streaky. You want it. I'm going to get some just blue and a little white. And I'm going to come here, letting just a little of the neck show, and this is a little bit of hair peeking out. Little glaze. All right, I'm going to think about, like, where could I put a little tendril down? I'm going to swing back and tender out. Swing back and tender out. This is a function of my bright brush right here. If you're doing a detailed brush, you'll have to create that little S curve, that arabesque, by hand. Now I'm going to want one of these on the back, and because again I've got a number 1 bright here and it's giving me some control, I'm going to have a pretty easy time with this. Swinging here and creating these thick and thin lines. Aren't they lovely? I feel like they're really nice. I'm going to get a little of my purple, like you do. Like you do. I'm going to add a little purple. Maybe tendril it out. Isn't that lovely?
Mm-hmm.
And then John has to represent all of you, so he's really answering for all of you.
I'm just watching. I'm really enjoying it. I love the hair.
I love painting the hair. I love it. Now I want to kind of tuck a roll here. So I'm going to get a little of my quinacridone magenta and a little of my white. Be sure I've got this here. And I'm going to start the work of this section of the hair, which is going to join here. I'm going to bring a little of this out here. This is a hair I really like painting. If you want to see the watercolor, how this was done in watercolor, I get asked all the time, how do you do this in watercolor? Mm-hmm. That's actually in the info card because this was from a watercolor painting.
Oh yeah, that's right. And actually, we combined the watercolor and the acrylic on the mug,
which is why it's 2 mermaids, 1 cup.
Right, 2 mermaids, 1 mug.
We weren't just being inappropriate. It's true too.
It's not appropriate.
It was funny.
It's punny. It's punny. We're guilty.
Funny.
We're
it's
guilty.
It's not funny if your friend ever did that to you out of the blue and made you watch that without an explanation. Yeah. Makes you miss that thing that screamed at you at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, internet memes are terrible.
Too many.
All right. So we're going along, and I'm adding a little more white, maybe here. And basically my goal in these tendrils, I think I'm getting off of my original track. And the reason is that I just have a lot of fun painting here.
We just get to talking sometimes. So what are you doing here with the ombre? I see you adding some white.
I'm just trying to create some pink values so that it's not stagnant.
Ah.
And it has this, particular feeling. And we're loving it. Do you want to love it? I want to love it. Mm-hmm.
Sarah says she really loves the way the magenta looks on the lighter orange color in the hair.
Oh, thank you. Wait till we get there. It's real fun. We're having some fun now, aren't we? Having some fun now.
Indeed.
This is the part of your painting that honestly is super relaxing. Mm. This is where you get super... Now, I'm going to do an interesting thing here. I'm going to come here, and I'm going to blend over the crown. See the blend? Into the purple. It's subtle, but it's going to be important later. Mm-hmm. I've got this in. Keep blending. Keep thinking. Keep doing your job. You're painting. You're healing. Oh, there you go. There you go. How?
What was that?
How's she doing? She looks good. Okay, we're getting there. We're nearly done.
Oh, yeah.
We're nearly... Do I get bubbles?
You get bubbles.
And stretch. And stretch.
And I want to say thank you to all of our people for coming and hanging out with us. It's so nice. We're all here under the ocean painting our mermaids.
Under the ocean. And surface know that
just
song by
painting
now.
away. Just painting away.
I'm taking a little yellow, and I'm going to tuck that over the top here and create kind of a new little, new little drama.
Oh yeah.
Let's go a new little drama right here. Drama's fun on here. Stay dramatic. Are you being dramatic? Be dramatic on your canvas. No drama in your life. But somebody was like really concerned. They're like, is this really you? Because you always say no drama on your canvas. No drama in your canvas, no drama in your life. And I'm like, it's not that dramatic. It's just like a little down today.
Is it?
It was just like a little. It wasn't like, giving up art or nothing.
Huh. So
it was a strange day. Are you ready for the next one?
I am.
I am too. So I'm going to come along here. And then I'm going to flow out. I'm going to avoid my sun, which is in a slightly different position now. Make some adjustments. When you're painting along with me or anybody else, realize that if you've sketched things in maybe slightly differently, just make little adjustments. Don't give up. Don't walk away. You're fine. Just change your mind and maybe move the hair tendril down a little bit. Not a lot. A little.
Good.
Good. We're just painting that along. Painting it along. And I'm just getting a little more of the quinacridone and the yellow. See how that's going? Super fun stuff.
I like the orange in there.
I do too. Makes me really happy. Gonna just blend that around the crown. See how we're doing? Press out the pink. I'm going to get a little white. Oh, I like that. Loving it. Just do a little dusting of the white here. Maybe a little bit down into the yellow. You can even come down into this pink a little bit. You're thinking about like where can I pull this? Where can I find space in this? And I think I need to make a little peach one with this crazy little tendril coming off here. So that's just the quinacridone and the lot of white. And I'm going to come under here. I'm going to have to adjust it a little bit because we had to move hair. But I'm not going to let it stop me completely from the story I was telling. Tell your story. Rinse that off. And I think I'm going to go back with a little quinacridone just to enforce that a bit. There we go. Isn't that nice? Now we should see little variances between all of our hair. Little micro mixes that were not exactly the same. That's what you should have between you and another person painting. Your painting should not look exactly like mine.
Right.
Shouldn't. It should look like yours. It should have elements of mine compositionally and how you paint it and but there should be differences because we're not the same person. And our experiences should leak into our artwork. So I'm just trying to create a smooth kind of flow transition here, and I may need to come get some white to do it. White to do it. More white than that to do it. You just don't worry about these little things. Don't worry about the little stuff. This nice white. I'm gonna put a little purple there, and then we get to do this fabulous tail. How are we loving our hair?
I'm loving it.
Is it feeling mermaidy and flowy away?
There is.
Take a little of your blue and a little of your quinacridone.
So there was a question. Is your name really Cinnamon Cooney?
Yeah.
Are you really? And we actually legitimately. Oh, that wrong one. We can legitimately. I've got a graphic in here that says it even.
What? You have a what? A what?
I think I have a graphic that even says that your name is Cinnamon Cooney. The
My
ArtSherpa.
name is.
But yeah, you really are.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think if I'd done a stage name, it would have been like Barb. I would have played with having like a completely kind of regular name.
So what is our
mermaid's
mermaid's
about those
name?
things when I got on YouTube as much as maybe I should have. I'm going to pull this purple up here. It's going to create a little drama on my canvas, but not in my lap. I think we need another tendril, Mr. Cooney. Need it. Need it.
Yeah.
You hear me? We
I
need
do.
it. No, offload and reload. That's where I put a little bead on the bottom of the brush. All right. And then I'm going to come right off here. This is going to be frustrating, this hair thing, for some of you new artists. It is a learnable skill. It's, again, not something that I'm going to take a little purple over here that's dark. It's not something I did my first day. Right? It's not something you're going to do your first day. Maybe it is. Maybe it just comes to you. Just be relaxed about it. You don't have to know everything about art the first day you paint. You could give it a couple paintings. Took me a few. It might take you a few, and that's all right. Doesn't mean you're not going to paint. Whatever you're painting today, you will not be painting next year.
Now, pretty much everybody in chat's like, I want that hair.
I want that hair, too.
That's definitely like some mermaids have got like a whole bunch of like undersea creatures holding.
They squished them.
And they're like, they're all like holding the different piece, like individual strands of hair to dye them to get this awesome rainbow effect.
I'm thinking.
They've got like, they've got multiple krakens doing hair.
So I could continue on with this brush, but I'm going to switch down to this 0. This is a Sterling Studio Bright 0, right? And it's just going to give me a little smaller scale to work with, and I may have to pick this back up and to get some details. And I'm going to start finishing out my scales. Now I'm going to add a little yellow ochre to this palette.
Okay.
And the rest of this, and I have way more green than I need, is going to be this range of colors here and a little of that. Are you ready?
Hazel thinks I would look good with this hair.
Hazel, I think you would too.
Well, me.
No, I know. I'm agreeing with her.
You think so?
I think that John, many of you don't know this, and he hates when I add it, but he used to have long hair.
I did have long hair.
Way past his butt.
Wait, that doesn't bother me.
It
I did.
And it was quite thick, and it was a thing. It was a lot of hair, and he grew it out actually for Locks of Love.
Yeah.
So
one thing to do with it if you have a lot of hair. Give it to somebody who needs it.
Somebody who needs it.
Ooh, Jolene gave a good name to this. This is Kevin the Kraken's Cove.
Is it Kevin the Kraken's Cove? I don't know. Kevin is visiting today. Maybe we'll go on Facebook and add Kevin.
But
if we can make a cast go on Facebook or Twitch or something, maybe we'll add Kevin. We'll see what John can work out.
I can do that.
You think?
Yeah.
We had a little trouble getting out there today.
I know that if after this you want to just go live on all 3 platforms simultaneously to put Kevin in.
I think they've got to come find us on Facebook or Twitch.
Okay.
For Kevin.
I don't
come
think we need to
find us on Facebook or Twitch. Kevin's special. Kevin is deep community.
You
got to be a true Sherpa. You got to be a true merman to get Kevin. If you're brand new here, Kevin is a Kraken that sometimes attacks our paintings.
He visits.
Well, it depends on your feelings on Kevin. Is Kevin a cousin of Cthulhu? We really haven't seen a lot of Kevin.
Now, we have over 600 likes going on right now. Did you know that?
That is amazing. Straight up, thank you. Share this anywhere you think that you have a friend you know is a mermaid or a merman at heart. You know there are mermaids out there. You know they're mermen. I've seen the Pinterest pins with the merman hair. So you know they're out. You gotta tell them this is their painting. This is their jam. This is the painting party they've been waiting for. Sorry, I'm like on the thing today. It's so weird. I don't know if you guys know this, but sometimes if you have like a day where you're like, man, I'm not there, and you respect that space and you hold it as sacred and you take a rest and you take a knee when you need to, you come back feeling like 1,000% better. And I think that's what's happening. Not for you today. I know you're still recovering. For me, I think that's what's happening to me is, taking a knee. That's my expression of just taking a minute and getting back to a spiritual center place. And, just resting it, just relaxing it. Your soul needs a rest sometimes. Doesn't it? And this is a lot of this. If you were dab, 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 dab. See these little dab dashes? I got to talking and not explaining. I am using yellow ochre here in my 0 brush, and I'm doing small dashes either on the side of the brush like this, where I'm dabbing on the side carefully, or I'm doing straight little brush strokes out to create the feeling of scales.
Okay.
This golden tail has a lot of layers.
A lot of layers.
Don't even be like hoping you're in and out of this, and there's a lot. There's a lot of layers you're going to be coping with.
Yeah.
Coping with a lot of layers.
So you think that we might be able to take our study that you've done and add some Kevin-ness to it after the show? If we went live on a multi-platform?
You want to do the study?
Yeah. I think so. We've got over 600 likes here. I can't tell you how exciting that is.
Who is meeting us on Twitch and Facebook? I love that Kim calls it that. Sorry. And painting Kevin the cracking.
I think that they're all going to join us.
It's our Sunday.
Yeah.
It's our Sunday. Some of you may need to go paint Angela's mermaid, though, so you know.
That's true. And
that's all good, or all of it. Or you could add Kevin to Angela's mermaid and Kevin to this mermaid once you understand the principles of Kevin.
The principles of Kevin.
The principles of Kevin. See how that's starting to feel like scales? Just the texture. This is an implied texture.
Oh, yeah.
So in art, you have these things. You have stuff. You have directionality. All the scales are running this way and following the line of her body. You have texture. That's the way the dashes make you feel. And then there's value, and that's what's going to give it shape. So this is what we're doing. I know. It's like a painting party, but with some art class in it. This is what's happening here. It's a lot like a painting party, but then we explain a couple of things. If you like explanations. If you don't like explanations, then you're like, it's so chatty. It's just so chatty.
We are very chatty.
I'm so chatty. You know what this is the party.
It's true.
This is the party where the happy people come.
And you're just putting straight, what color is that?
This is just yellow ochre right now.
Just some yellow ochre undertones?
This is going to need some layers to just feel like beautiful and substantial and wonderful. And I can go through faster, but I feel like,
If you're rewatching us, you can just use that fast forward button.
You can. I am hysterical at 2 times speed. I sound like Lockery.
your voice goes up. You start talking a little faster.
Yeah. I've noticed that we have something in common right about there. 2 times speed. Pretty awesome. I think she's the funnest social media post about her pets ever.
Yeah, it's about the same for Lindsay at 2x.
Oh my gosh, Lindsay does not have an equivalent YouTube speed that I could possibly set myself to.
But she's like...
Lindsay crafts at a speed that only bats can relate to.
She's gone plaid.
She's gone plaid. Lindsay's gone plaid. If you haven't had the joy of enjoying a Lindsay the Frugal Crafter, you haven't really lived.
Yeah, and
especially on coffee day.
She's got like 1,300 videos up.
It's
amazing.
more than that. You got to stop giving a number because
they
she
keep
uploads
growing
every single day.
They
She's
grew
been
up by
doing
thousands,
it for years, so now it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous number. 1,400. I have to get. It's like a lot.
It's a lot.
But
when I get to
really
the tail,
content.
I start doing long, careful brush strokes. See? Gonna use some of my glazing liquid, even though my ochre's kind of transparent as it is, and I follow, especially on this layer, the curve of the tail. So I'm following the curve of the tail. And then curving. And then I'm going to curve. And again, this is the implied line that's creating the space that we're following along at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Tuesday, if you come by the channel, there's going to be a really fast, really easy, probably something around 30 minutes, maybe 40, but probably 30 pre-recorded deer. So it won't be John. You won't get John.
Sans John.
He'll be there. He'll just be quiet.
I'll be button pushing.
He'll be just... Actually, what he does is he just watches other things while he switches. This is what happens at our pre-recorded, if you're wondering. John is there, and he's kind of not really listening to me, and he's watching something else, and he's just pushing buttons and then doing the other thing that he does while I'm yammering away like a crazy person. So, but anyways, that'll be up Tuesday, and it'll be short, fast, and easy, and a really good first-time painting.
It's really different when I'm doing this and you guys aren't here to chat with.
freaks out.
Because I'm kind of like, where's my community blanket?
My community whoopee. I need my whoopee. All right, I'm going to get a little of my cad yellow, and I might tone a little bit of it with some ochre, so it's not too much. And I'm going to get a little bit of white into that mix. And I'm going to start putting some of this yellow out. Now, one of the things that you start doing on these scales, the better you want to get at mermaid tails, if mermaid painting is your goal, you're going to start breaking up. This is the last of the uniformity. After that, don't be uniform. Don't do it, man. Start opening up scales. You want to clump them together, like I'm doing right here. See, I'm clumping them, and then you're going to open them up, and then don't be uniform. Be surprising. Be surprising in your painting. Surprise people in your life. Surprise people in your painting. Don't let them predict you. They don't know you.
They don't know you.
They might not actually know you.
They
but
can't
they don't
predict your palette.
They can't, man. You don't know what I'm going to do. You don't know what I'm going to paint.
You might go cadmium on them. You just never know.
You don't know.
You might go ochre.
You might. So see how I'm making these little patches here?
If you really go, you could get iridescent up in here.
Okay, I think, again, I do this thing, and I actually get better at the... Sometimes I do a better job on the lesson painting than I did on the study. So that's why a lot of people like to see how the lesson works out, because it's like... It's the opposite of the usual clickbait, where the thumbnail is fantastic and the painting is a hot mess. Hey, little YouTube tip, scroll to the end of the painting and check that finished result. Sometimes it's not what you think. I always wonder what it's like for people who like wander into painting with a really deceptive thumbnail. And they just, they're good little painters and they follow along and they're 45 minutes in and they have that realization that this result is going to look nothing like the thumbnail they clicked.
I think that most folks are just, like my after talking with them in chat, it seems like they kind of jump in, watch it, skip around a little bit, see if it's what they thought it was, maybe watch it through once all the way, and then paint it. So I'm not, it's real interesting. Most of the people who I talk to in chat say that they watch it at least once before they paint it. So I think that there's some watching process that definitely occurs before the painting process.
I would hope so, because I've seen somewhere I've gotten to the end and I'm like,
what?
I would be freaking out.
Well,
it would be beyond trolling my reaction. My reaction would be like running, screaming into the streets, pulling out my hair.
Yeah.
I would have a moment. I would.
Gail's like, yep, that's what I do.
See, like a weird, regular kind of clickbaity video, it wouldn't bug me because, if I click a video because I think it's pineapple apple pen, but actually it's an infomercial for lawyers, I'm not going to really lose my mind because it wasn't 45 minutes of my life. Right. I'm going to give them I don't even down thumb anybody. I can't. I make videos, so I don't like doing it. I'm going to add a little white to my paint. I feel like it's a little deep.
Yep.
A little deep.
Now I noticed that you're adding an uneven amount of yellow tones there, so it's kind of making it like it's, patchy.
It needs to be patchy. Patchy is critical. In fact, in the first study, I got too uniform. You want it to be patchy. The more you can do this thing, this is like...
So this is supposed to be more patchy.
This is the fish version of leopard, trust me.
So this is cool. I mean, I like the patchiness on here, but it's different than the picture-in-picture.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I correct for problems.
All right, so you're improving as we go.
You can't help it. You can't do a thing and not go, man. You can see where I did it a bit in the original, but you're going to love this better. Just trust me.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, oh, to change the thumbnail. I don't know. You're going to be stoked. It's going to be even better. And you have a little faces. So see how I'm just breaking up those patterns? You're going to want to just do that where you can.
Yes.
Where you can take it. Where you can take it. Where you can't take it, don't worry about it. But it just creates some space for things to be what they are. Now I'm going to come into this tail.
Yep.
And I've just got the yellow and the white. And notice that I'm just brushing right here, this highlight. See that?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to come around here and just brushing my highlight.
Now, again, that patchiness is to make it look more lifelike.
Yeah, more like a real fish.
Because they're not even.
Because, yeah, they're not. They're a hot mess.
And because
that's how they hide from other fish.
and they're not perfectly smooth, so the unevenness in the skin,
the
and
lighting, everything,
cause all the funny reflections. So
yeah, and that's
that
sort of the
sense,
trick of making fantasy artwork, is paying attention to how things that are not fantasy look very closely. So when you're making, you know, a new dinosaur on a genetically modified island of craziness, you know, your new Indominus Rex is somewhat believable, even though it's totally not, no matter what. And why was that lady in heels the whole time running? I don't know. Who does that in the middle of a dinosaur-infested super island? Also, people stop going to that island. Like, you literally know where the teeth are. Stop traveling there. How is that an amusement park? So I have some feelings.
Let's go to the place where
where everything
the attractions
eats you.
eat you. That's right.
That'll be super fun. Does that seem fun to you?
Your admission and lunch.
Yes. I'm going to take a little of my yellow over to my green. And I'm going to also add, not everywhere, just a couple
some
spots.
Touches.
Some green a couple places. This one, do it sparse.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few. Just a few.
Just a few.
Look, isn't that good?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, I got this down. This was the thing I was trying to do. This is the thing I was trying to do. And everybody was so complimentary that this reminds me of Amy Brown. I'm like, that would be awesome. She is like the queen of this stuff. So see, I'm just doing just a few. And I'm not really putting it that I'm weaving it into the yellow. This is not like that sip and paint I went to. It's asking so much of me.
Huh.
But you know what? You can do it, sweetie. You got it. It's in you. The art is in you. You always knew you were creative, and it's in you. Just have to believe in yourself. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Believe in yourself. Okay. So I'm going to take some of this yellow to the side over here, so it's just easy to get to. And I'm going to get a lot of white. This is much lighter than any of the color I've been putting out. And now I'm going to be putting out some high reflections. I don't want to paint out everything I have before. I want to leave some of that first thing, but I need the high reflections.
Yeah. And that helps make everything look a little shiny, huh?
Yeah. Doesn't it?
Now, how did you choose those areas to make the highlights?
How do I choose those areas to make the highlights?
How do you know where you're putting the highlights?
I looked at a lot of references, and I can still see what I had done in the thing. But basically, I was looking at references where probably the highest shine of reflection, where it was the wettest, was in those spots along.
Gotcha.
And I was like, how can I make that feel more real?
Now, using an interference paint on this could really make it look
I think it would be fun.
You're not currently doing that, though.
No, I'm not currently doing that, and we still haven't figured out how to the problem with the interference paint on YouTube is it can be really hard to film.
No, yeah, interference paint really works by reflecting the points of light, and your stereo eyes do that very well. Now, in my studio, I don't have point lights. I have very even, soft lights, which don't reflect.
They're Sherpa-friendly lighting.
Yeah, well, it's video-friendly lighting. It's not really glitter because diamonds also, anything that reflects wants point lights, and we have matte lights in here.
Yeah,
they're very flat boxes. So
we just got to figure out. We got to get some special lighting for certain things. Like it's amazing we do blacklight painting. If you don't know, if you just wandered in, you're like, why is this lady painting live?
Because it's more fun.
It is more fun, actually. It's more fun to be live.
Mm-hmm.
But Tuesday, if you want just something real quick, about 30 minutes, like The Girl in the Rain.
Yep. Our nice drilled down paintings that go fast.
We got that. How's this looking, guys?
This is looking so cool. I'm really enjoying this. I'm liking all the little. I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit so they can see.
I'm getting even highlightier. But before I do, I'm gonna come and add a little more to my tail. Mm-hmm. A little more. See how I'm just soft? I'm curving and following those lines. These are called curvilinear lines. There we go. Lovely? Don't you feel lovely? Wait till we get the orange in here. That's going to pop it against this blue background. Then it's the jam. Pump up the jam. No, I didn't do that. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell them I did it.
Glitter. You could totally glitter this too.
You could glitter the heck out of this.
Yeah, glitter would be good.
So I've got some just white here, and that's just reinforcing maybe some of the highlights. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't she feel scaly?
She does.
She feels so scaly.
She feels smoothie scaly.
Smoothie scaly.
Like,
oh, darn it.
Like nice scales.
So if you have a boo-boo like that, because your canvas moved, come back. And how I'm going to fix that is I'm just going to come back with a little yellow. Because I don't want just a big white spot right there. And just dab back. See? It's fine. Fixed. Don't even stress on that stuff.
That works.
Stress. I'm going to run a little highlight down there. Curved along the leg. Yes, sound effects do help you paint. And the singing also helps you paint. And a nice snacky snack helps you paint. And having your kids be quiet helps you paint. Having a little time for yourself. A little painting for yourself.
Now, if you go up to TheArtSherpa.com, we've got a schedule of all of our upcoming events. So you can go there and check out what paintings we've got coming up, what things we've got going on a different on the different streaming platforms, and catch up with chat there, because we have all of our Sherpettes and light keepers. They come and hang out in the chat and in the forums, and there's a whole lot of activities out there for you guys to do. Yeah. So please feel free to join us out there.
Do. I'm honestly, again, it's one of those days where I'm like, darn it, I love the because like as you're going along, your brain resolves things. So like from the time I painted this, my brain's been working on it, saying, "Oh, I have a suggestion."
Now you're listening to it.
Well, now I'm well. It's just that's why iteration is so wonderful, and I'm always like, art is a journey. Mm-hmm. It's a journey for me. It's a journey for you. You got to not worry about, do you love it? I love it. So I've taken just a little of my Cad Red light into my yellow, and I'm getting a high orange. Mm-hmm. Right, and I want an even orange. I want it really orange, where it's like pop, 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 pop. So this is a hard range to get, because I want it where it's like really showing. The scales are really showing. There we go. Just a few of them here and there. Aren't they nice? Mm-hmm. Just doing a little orange in the scales. The orange almost, I feel, makes the yellow feel more yellow, as does the green.
Oh, thank you, Zoe.
Hi, Zoe.
Zoe reminded me that we've got some videos on Amazon you can check out.
Oh, that's right. We're on Amazon.
That's right.
If you just need to download and you've got data things, because Lord knows I'm on a long time.
Yeah, if you need to download if you want to download one of these copies to one of your devices.
This is not on Amazon yet.
This is not yet. Some of the other ones, we're working on it, but we're going to have some of our shorter pre-recorded videos that'll be out there for you guys.
Yeah. So there's something.
Yeah.
We've got that friend that won't go on YouTube because who knows why? Because they don't YouTube.
Or if
I don't know why you YouTube. There's just cat videos. Why are you on YouTube? Twitch.
But if you're traveling, it's really great if you're going to be traveling or you want to visit family that don't have high-speed internet. You can that way. We've made it very nominal, so you can go out there, download them, and get access to them that way.
Yeah, there's a bunch of ways to get them for free.
Yeah, if you're a Prime member, you get them for free.
I know not every country allows for that, but it's like $1.99. It's just
And in the future, we're gonna have custom stuff up there too.
Yeah.
So
custom, just there only.
Yeah, Amazon only, exclusive.
Yeah, Amazon only. Now something I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take just a little bit of this orange.
Hold on, let me get up here.
Sorry, and I'm gonna add a titch to the rocks.
Okay.
Just a titch to the rocks a couple places. This is a thing that I do. You don't have to do that. I have to do that. It's like, by the way, we're done.
Oh, really?
We're done.
Wow. That just came together so quickly.
She does. When she comes together.
So you just got to sign her and we're done.
We just got to sign her and we're done. Let's put out our fluid paint. This is one of my favorite things in the universe is the golden fluid acrylics. Uh-huh. I don't just use it for signing. I actually paint with it, but it's fabulous for signing because I can get a little detail brush like this silver Ultra Mini 10/0. Any detail brush will work.
Okay.
Right? Just something that gives you a small thing. Small little tip that you can sign. And I'm going to come into my little surf and sign my little Sherpa nom de plume. Is it okay to sign your paintings? Yes. Is it okay to not sign your paintings? Yes. Probably don't date your paintings. Just a long time opinion I have. There you go. See, it doesn't look like the surf.
That does look cool.
All right. So I always do think about where my signature goes and how it impacts the painting. And, you know, I don't want it to detract from the work that I've done, right? So I think about my signature. There isn't really a signature rule at the end of a painting. Yes, you should definitely varnish your paintings because acrylic paintings are like Swiffer dusters, but we have a bunch of videos on that.
Oh,
if you'd like to varnish. And I think we're going to, you know what I'm going to say?
What's that?
I'm going to say I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Whenever we have to bump a thing, and I always try to be very transparent about what happened. I just think, what's happening? Why are we bumping? And you guys always outpour so much love. So thank you so much for all the thoughts and wishes and well-being. I hope you love your mermaid. For those of you that are hardcore Kevin the Kraken. Kevin the Kraken fans. Yay!
Well, yeah, for that, we're gonna just go live after this. Yeah,
we'll see you in a minute.
Yeah, we'll go up and we'll see what we can do to make
Watch
all this
for us.
and figure all that stuff
on Twitch
out.
or Facebook.
Yeah. So is that gonna be okay?
Yeah.
We'll do all that.
Yeah.
And
I'll put out some paint for that.
We'll put out some paint for that, and then we'll see everybody.
Get some more coffee, because clearly what I need is some more caffeine today.
Yeah.
What I need is more caffeine.
I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, maybe not even that.
Maybe not even that. Just watch.
Coffee, and then we'll be back.
Just sit and look at your phone. Be like this.
And
Sherpa time.
you're gonna get alone.
Sherpa time.
It's gonna come.
Or you could go by the live chat at TheArtSherpa.com, and all the moderation Sherpas will know exactly what's happening there, and they'll be like, "It's now! It's now! Everybody go here, there, everywhere."
Yep, we're gonna do it. All right.
See you soon.
We love you guys.
Bye.
See you in a bit.